Well, Dr. Jared Pincin joins us now. He is an assistant professor of economics at Cedarville University.
Welcome to you, Dr. Pincin. So we've already seen and we are seeing Americans stockpile goods ahead of these tariffs kicking in. What does that signal to you about the kind of impact consumers are bracing for?
Well, consumers are uncertain, just like the business environment is right now. So they're uncertain about where prices are going to move. And so they'd rather buy goods and services at the prices that they can see now, rather than the unknown prices that could happen in the future.
Yeah. What kinds of everyday items could get more expensive if these tariffs do go into effect? And how soon could shoppers really feel this?
Yeah, so the answer could be anything that is being imported. Some of the goods are going to be hit more than others. For example, automobiles, both used and new. Electronics, since a lot of our electronics come from China, Korea, places like that, where they're going to be hit with tariffs, as well as different farm produce. Now, some of that is going to be blunted as we shift into the United States into our growing seasons for some of that. But a lot of durable goods, washing machines, things like that, they'll be hit the hardest.
When do you think we could see some of these spikes go into effect?
Yeah, that's all going to depend on what the inventory is that companies have. So the best answer I could give is sooner rather than later. You know, we're not talking about months away or even quarters away. In some goods, automobiles could be one of those. You could be talking about weeks away, but it's hard to put a timeline on. I think most people don't appreciate how large international trade is and how complex the supply chains are. You're talking about goods, particularly goods, that are manufactured in so many different countries and then assembled in another. So you can have one good that is facing tariffs multiple times.
You know, moving from goods that people can purchase to the concept of things that we store in savings, there's been a lot of market volatility. What kind of effect could this have on people's 401ks or retirement savings? And what would you recommend for those who are jittery and wanting to move things or withdraw money?
That depends on your time horizon. I would caution people from making any sort of rash decisions. I would, if you're looking at the long term, this is just a short hiccup in that. If you needed the money now, well, maybe you need to actually make market moves. But at this point, I would consider this more of a buying opportunity if your time horizon is long enough. I understand the jitteries. My 401k is down as well these last several days. But if you're investing with a long enough time horizon, this is not the time to panic.
Jared, do you see these tariffs fueling broader inflation, or do you think they'll stay limited to certain industries?
It's going to depend on what the central bank does. So Jerome Powell came out, I think it was last week, talking about keeping interest rates steady where they are. If the tariffs are causing higher prices and the Federal Reserve sees those as sustained, I would expect them to raise interest rates. The big wild card in this is, are these going to be permanent, or is this a negotiating tool? This is the first time I've heard since this has started that the White House is openly admitting this is a bargaining chip. To me, that changes the calculus of what's moving forward, in that the hope is to bring trade deals to actually lower tariffs around the world and to increase access to markets, rather than this being a sustained policy of higher tariffs.
Okay. Dr. Jared Pincin with Cedarville University, thank you so much.